Just walk away. Just walk away, and there will be an end to the horror.
And we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is Ayam, Sirias here. Cabin boys in the chats already. We're off to a good start. Tonight we have a special guest. His name is Lone Wolf. How are you doing today, Lone Wolf?
Pretty good. How about you, Ayam?
I'm doing excellent. Nick, you're all right?
Yep.
All right. So today is a Friday night cast because of other circumstances. And we want to try and revisit our last talk that Nick and I had, which was episode 26 last week, which was a very strange one, very strange indeed. And there was a few topics that we wanted to cover and we never got to cover. One of them was sentencing disparity between genders, and we're going to tie that in with Bill Cosby if everybody's already heard the news about that. And as well, we're going to go back and revisit the chicks in cockpits. We never got to touch on that last time, so we're going to do that this time. So we might as well get started. You guys, I've got an article that I want to look at first, which is now this is I'm going to frame Bill Cosby for the viewers. I'm going to frame what's happened to Bill Cosby by going over quickly what we tried to touch on last week. Now the first article is titled "Teacher 54 who had sex with ex-pupil 17 during midlife crisis is cleared of all charges."
Yeah,
Absolutely.
of course.
All charges. Now, this one was stunning to me when I first heard about it. This is about a week old now, a week and a half old.
Right.
It was stunning to me because I've heard, when you hear about them getting lesser charges to a certain degree, but there was absolutely no charge.
There was just no charge, whatsoever. And and to be fair, I posted that article up. And to be fair, in the UK, the legal age of consent is 16 or whatever, and he was just a former student. But you have to take into consideration how seriously would they take it if genders were reversed?
If genders were reversed,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How seriously would they take it? Because a lot of females view an older man having sex with a younger woman. Oh, he's manipulating her, or he must be a pedophile or whatever. I mean, no matter what age he is, like it could be like a 21-year-old having sex with like a 50-year-old, and they'll just be like, oh well, he must be a pedophile or a child. But when it's like a teenage boy,
Yeah.
everybody wants to say, oh, he's lucky, he must have
Right.
won it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's horrible. But I mean, here, let me read some of the article. Okay, where is it? Lowe had admitted having sex with the teenager after being flattered. That's in quotes. Flattered by the attention of the boy, and was having a quote midlife crisis when they began a relationship. Like, imagine if instead of this woman, it was you or me or Nick being flattered.
Right.
Oh, I was flattered by the attention of this.
Oh, I was
17-year-old
just
girl.
flattered by the attention of this 19-year-old girl. Man, the judge would freaking bang his gavel and say, guilty.
Absolutely.
Probably fucking 50 damn years.
Yeah.
Shit.
And here's another part that kind of hits a little home to me because before I came back to Canada, I was living in Bali. It says here, the divorcee said at the time she had become, another thing, they call her the divorcee. They never once call her a sexual offender.
A sexual offender, but if you ever notice with these articles, like the way they're written, they'll never say that a woman raped or sexually assaulted like a student. They'll just say, oh,
They never
she
use
had an
perverted
affair
words.
or blah blah blah.
Yeah. What's
They
that?
never say perverted. They never say perverted words.
No, they never use those menacing words. Like, they'll never say, oh, she she manipulated it, or just to make it seem like the boy just could not consent whatsoever because of his age or whatever. Like, even when they sentence him, you always fucking see it. Oh, she had an affair with him. Like, I remember there's this one case in Pennsylvania where it was this teacher who was having sex with I think it was like no, I don't think it was Pennsylvania. I think it was Milwaukee. It was something that I found out. It was like this school board member. It was a man, by the way. He was a school board member. He was a politician or whatever. And what happened was on Whisper, he was talking to this 17-year-old girl he had met on Whisper, and he had no idea of her age or anything, and he was talking sexual with her and whatnot, and I guess maybe talking inappropriate with her and everything. The motherfucker got slapped with felonies. He was ousted from his position.
Oh, yeah.
He just had his face plastered everywhere. And I'm just thinking, if this was a female, there would just no. Like she would not get slapped with a serious felony like that.
No.
She probably get maybe like a few years in prison and then get probation maybe. You know what I mean? But she'll have a shot at parole either way though.
Yeah.
And the article literally, and I think the article even said like sexually assaulted though. Now I could be wrong, but I think even the article never said, oh, he was having an affair or he was just having yeah. I think it literally said he was sending nude pics to a minor or whatever though. Like, just the way these articles are like worded though, it always makes it seem like, like I was saying, like they always switch up the fucking the words they use towards male offenders versus female
Absolutely.
offenders, really. And that's kind of what the CDC does as well, because if you look up this isn't exactly what they do, but if you look up the definition of a prostitution of what it used to mean in the CDC, it said employments, what was it? Employments, full, not non-monetary items, monetary items. But then after the Harvey Weinstein scandal broke out, they took out the word employment. See what? See right there?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, the word, they always play the word game, man. They always play the word game. That's very Orwellian. And in this next paragraph of the same article, first, like I said, they call her the divorcee. She said that she become
Divorcee from what? What is she divorcing from?
Well,
divorcee. They only say that. I mean, she wasn't going
Are they
through a
married?
freaking divorce like this.
What's going on? Why are they using the word divorcee? I'm lost here.
It's a pity word. It's like she's
a divorcee. Like this
See,
had nothing
they're
to
just
even
getting you
do
all worked
with
up. I think
a divorce, though. This is a completely separate issue. So why would they even be calling her a divorcee? Like, what the
they
fuck?
make it sound like they were married. That's all.
Well, also, she was using midlife crisis as an excuse, right? So it's a pity word.
Midlife crisis.
So divorcee reminds you that she's going through a hard time.
I've seen that chick. She's very.
It's the husband's
and I've
fault.
seen that chick. She's very, very old. It looks like she already hit menopause.
She's 54.
She already hit freaking Yeah, she already hit menopause. Yeah, midlife.
She's a victim.
Midlife crisis, and she just wanted
fault.
to get some quick dick, basically.
She's a victim.
No, it's the ex-husband's fault.
Yeah, of course. So it says here she became interested. Now, listen, this is how they paint her. She became interested in meditation and yoga. She visited Bali, sold her flat. Yeah, sold her flat in suburban Cheshire. Gave up her job as a head pastoral care at a high school to go traveling to India to explore her faith. What the fuck?
Look at all the fucking details they're covering in that article. Oh, she gave up such and such, did this. It's like, what does that have to fucking do with the case and shit?
Now,
do you think they would use that fucking rhetoric if, say for instance, like some man, shot up a fucking, shot up someplace or whatever? Like, do they ever use that rhetoric though of, oh, well, he gave up this and that, he was going through that. You know what I'm saying?
No.
They just say he's a stone cold killer.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So, all right. So we're using these articles to kind of frame what we're leading up to with Cosby. So I'm going to go to the next one. For the listeners, and this one is titled. Which one should I do? I got two of them here. Canadian drug mule sentenced in Australia for cocaine cruise. Now you've got this. It says here, Canberra, Australia. Canadian. I think Nick sent me this article. A Canadian drug mule broke down in tears in an Australian court on Wednesday when she was sentenced to 8 years in prison for her part in an attempt to smuggle cocaine worth $16 million fucking dollars into Sydney in luggage aboard a luxury cruise ship. Melania Roberge, 24, told the New South Wales State District Court that she risked a life sentence in an Australian prison for the opportunity. Why? Why did she do this? Why did this woman take such a huge risk? To take an opportunity to take selfies in exotic quote in exotic locations and post them on Instagram to receive likes and attention.
Really? She smuggled drugs just to fucking just to fucking post selfies? Wow.
Now, this is what's weird to me. Like, they must have offered her money too. I mean, did she just get the vacation? I guess maybe they just said, "Here's a vacation."
She probably paid for her own vacation, and then you could do drugs.
Well, it was a $17,000 vacation, so I doubt she could afford it, right? Let's assume.
Well, that's already a red
I don't know.
flag.
Like,
How's she on that boat?
Maybe she had some fucking simp of funding it, like, or whatever. I don't know. Like, maybe
she's an idiot. She's a drug mule.
She was a mule. Somebody hired her to do it. But what I don't understand is, did they pay her cash or did they pay her or did they just give her a ticket? Like,
yeah, whatever. Either or, they can afford it.
Yeah, they of course they can afford it. So they're like, but think about this: if it was a dude, do you think he would have just taken a ticket for a fucking payment, man? This fucking woman probably they just handed her a ticket, said, "Hey, you want to go on a cruise? You can take it. You can go for free if you take these drugs with you." And she probably just fucking, the hamster wheel started spinning.
Well, in like clubs and bars or like certain events, females always get in like damn near free. Like if you've ever been to a club or whatever, and I've seen in the club what they'll do is they won't even pat down females though. Like they'll pat down dudes, but they won't even pat down females because they'll say, I guess it's, I don't know, sexual assault or whatever.
There.
Yeah.
Like it's freaking misandric, but so it's just hilarious when I see these people, run around saying, "Oh, gender is just a social construct, and men and women are no." That's fucking bullshit.
Yeah. Well, so this chick, and we've already discussed it. The point of this article too is she was sentenced to 7.5, but then it was taken that she will likely be serving a non-parole period of 4.5 years.
4.5 years.
Slap on the wrist.
Slap on the wrist. And imagine this now.
95 kilograms, man. 95 kilos of coke.
Like, imagine this. Okay, the war on drugs in America. I'm sure people here may be like aware of what happened to the black community and how the father was replaced with the welfare state, and black men started selling drugs. You would have black men, especially under Nixon, Reagan, and maybe Bill Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
And Bill Clinton, you would have black men serving damn near life for non-violent drug offenses. Damn near fucking life for non-violent drug offenses. And some of these men were just fathers, maybe trying to make a living or whatever. I mean, I'm not per se supporting selling drugs, but I'm just bringing like a point here. But you would have them getting, 50 to 100, like a lot of them are never going to get out. But this female smuggles drugs on a freaking cruise ship, and she gets what, 4 years, and probation.
The bottom line is, in regards to what you're saying, is that it's pretty much an industry putting black men in jail. Let's be real.
Yeah. It's pretty much an industry. I mean, it's an industry putting white men in jail too. I'm not trying to talk.
But black men do go to jail. If that was a black man, he'd be done. It's over.
Yeah. He'd be done. He'd be locked up.
Universal. Everyone knows this.
Yeah.
And then, I'm not trying to make this like a race thing. I'm not trying to be like one of those pro-black back. No, I'm not doing that. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying,
Come on.
because, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to do that. I'm just, bringing back up a point because, a lot of, because I think black men, especially in America, probably suffered the extreme, I guess you could say, like the extreme aspects of feminism, especially if you look at what happened with black men and white women during the Jim Crow era, after slavery, where black men were being lynched, burned, killed. If it was even rumored he looked at a white woman, or if a white female claimed he raped her, sexually assaulted her, or
Well,
whatever, though.
If you want to put this into perspective when it comes to the disparity we're talking about, in the other article I sent you, which was Professor Starr's research shows large unexplained gender disparity in federal criminal cases, there is a quote from that article which says the gender gap, or the gender disparity within the criminal cases, is 6 times, this is between men and women, the gender gap is 6 times as large as the racial disparity. 6 fucking
Yeah, I know.
times.
6 times as large. Like,
Larger.
I think with like the freaking racial disparity. I mean, the gender disparity between men and women in the prison system is bigger than the ones between blacks and whites.
Or any race.
I mean, any race. Now think about it this way: a lot of people, and a lot of people who I know, especially a lot of black people, I guess you could say, like, they want to talk about white supremacy and all this other kind of crap.
Mm-hmm.
But think about it this way: there are more white men serving prison time than black women.
Yeah.
There are more white men than black women serving longer prison sentences for the same crime.
Absolutely.
Same exact crime. So that's what really throws me off when, because I'm a black guy, so I've been around the black manosphere circles, and that's just the kind of things they say. And and it really throws me off. I mean, I don't really say anything because I know they're just gonna like deflect and dilute, but it's just like they're not looking at the bigger picture, though. That it's freaking gynocentrism.
Yes, absolutely.
They're not looking at the bigger picture. That this is gynocentrism. Like, this is literally a war on everybody with a Y chromosome.
Yes, everybody with.
Well, it also, mind if I
Go ahead.
interrupt here? That women as a whole in the West, regardless of race, all right, they have complete impunity. They can just run rogue shot across your country much at this point.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they can just run rogue shot or whatever. Shoot. I was actually looking up one of the females from the Charles Manson case had tried to assassinate President Gerald Ford. Now, she tried to murder the president at the time, and she only served. Let me look up. But I remember she didn't serve that long, and she tried to assassinate the president of the United States.
Damn.
Like, imagine that. And this is one of the females from the Charles Manson thing. I can look it up right now. What was her name?
Okay, while you're looking that up, I'll drop a few numbers here for the viewers. According to Professor Starr's research, which was actually a lot more broad than prior research, she said men receive 60% longer sentences on average than women do, and women are twice as likely to avoid incarceration if convicted. Okay? These are huge differences. And one of the things she says, one of the variables she added to her study, she said most findings were looking at just sort of, what did she say? She was looking at a larger swath of criminal justice processes. Existing studies typically focused on a single stage of the criminal process, right? So they were looking at one single stage, whether it be what they were arrested for or the actual sentence that the person got. But she was looking at decisions made that included prosecutors charging, and plea bargaining decisions. So all of these things, every step from the arrest all the way to the fucking sentencing, every step of the way in the criminal justice process is gynocentric. 100%.
Yep.
Every step of the way. From the moment they
every
put the cuffs
step
on.
of the way.
Yes. From the moment
Every
they put the
step
cuffs on you.
of the way
Yeah.
is gynocentric, because every year they're building new male prisons. Now the female I just looked up, her name is Lynette something. She was with the Charles Manson cult.
Mhm.
She only got about 34 years or so for trying to assassinate the president of the United States, and she was paroled back in 2009
Mhm.
for trying to kill the president of the United States. Think about how big that is. How long do you think we would serve if, say, one of us talked about trying to kill the president, like, or whatever? How long do you think we would serve in prison?
Yeah, just talking about it. Not even fucking.
Just
not even-
freaking talking about it. Just if we talked about it. I mean, I would obviously never talk about that, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, if we just talked about it, or if we said, yeah, we're going to do it, do you know what I'm saying? Like, we will be serving damn near life in prison with no chances of parole.
Watch our lives.
Well, the guy who shot Reagan was up for parole and he got denied recently.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, he got denied? Oh, I thought he got out. Oh, yeah, see what I'm saying?
Wow. Well, okay, so basically, for every step of the way, as a man, there is, and again, I want to say this, there is an institutional bias.
Institutional, systemic bias. It is systemic gynocentrism.
Exactly. So you often hear about institutional racism against blacks. You hear about institutional sexism against women. That is bullshit. That does not exist. There's no evidence.
It is
for
bullshit. It is bullshit. Now, and obviously we're not trying to say like racism doesn't exist or anything, but it's not, on that systemic level, really.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not on that systemic level that people think it is. No. I mean, put it this way, like I was just saying, a white male serves more time for a crime than a black female. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, with that, where's the systemic racism?
You have to understand that women as a whole commit less crimes than men.
Yeah,
I know they do.
I mean, psychopathy is strictly a guy thing. I mean, murders usually. I mean, I looked it up. There's not that many women in prison versus the amount of men. Yes, it's possible. It has a lot to do with the judicial system, but as a whole, psychologically, women are less likely to commit crimes.
Yes, but
they are less. Yes, that is true. That men are more likely to commit crimes,
and they do commit more crimes. But the point we're making here is that in the criminal justice system, when you compare apples to apples, that means men committing the exact same crime as women, regardless of what it is, whether it be rape, whether it be murder, whether it be smuggling drugs. When you compare apples to apples, there is strong evidence, very strong evidence that sexism against men is institutional within the judicial system, the criminal justice system.
It really is. Like, there's very, very strong evidence to support that sexism against men is institutional. Like, do you ever notice that when a female may falsely accuse a man of a rape or whatever, and it comes out, that a lot of times they'll show the face of the man who allegedly did it, but they won't show the face of the female who actually lied.
Yes.
They won't show her face.
No.
I'm like, wait, so he's being put out there and targeted, even before he's even convicted, his face is put out there. Mm-hmm. But this female has her face covered and everything. Just like there was a case in my state where a man, he was, and I think you heard about it. It was in Detroit. A man was forced to pay child support for a kid that wasn't his, and he was sent to jail for not paying child support for a kid that wasn't his. And the female who did it and listed him as the father, they never showed her face, but they showed his face. Yeah. They showed his face. He has to have his face put out there. He has to be ridiculed.
Yeah. Now let me continue to quote from the article by Professor Starr. She says, after estimating the amount of disparity left unexplained by the arrest defense and other control variables, the paper then explores why do these gaps exist, and in particular whether unobserved differences between men and women might justify them. So stuff that isn't quite observed, maybe something else is affecting them. She explores several potential mitigating factors, such as the girlfriend theory, that women might be viewed as mere accessories to their male romantic partners, the role of women as primary caregivers to children, and the theory that female defendants receive leniency because they are more cooperative with the government. Now, these are serious things that she explored in her studies. But then she concludes that although each of these theories found some support in the data, they did not appear capable of explaining anything close to the total disparity that Professor Starr found. So,
wow.
So for these other variables...
Right.
Sorry, go ahead, Nick.
Well, I mean, you're breaking up just a little bit. I hear a little bit of static.
I think that's coming from Lone Wolf. I think you got some
Can you hear me? I mean, can you guys hear me well?
It's not too bad. We can keep going. It's not that bad.
Yeah, you're okay.
All right, so
okay.
we're talking about the judicial system. All right, that's for morals, right? I mean, me and Ayam had this conversation last week about, we briefly discussed the judicial system, where morals come from and human nature.
Yeah.
What has happened now is that because you've removed religion from the judicial system, in place that's filled that void is the state, and the state is very gynocentric.
Yeah,
right.
The state religion is very gynocentric. It's almost like Roman Catholicism, hyper gynocentric.
Yeah. Roman Catholic gyno. Yeah, and in the state. Now, one thing with the state is you have a whole lot. I mean, not a whole lot, but you do have some MGTOWs that trust the state too much, though. Like they think that that we need to that in order to get rid of gynocentrism is we have this giant welfare state where we give women everything they want to everything they want. What do you guys think about that?
Well, absolutely. There's something to be said about female behavior that leads them towards voting Democrat. And it's along the same lines. And I think it's along the same lines as why Democrats target a lot of minority groups as well.
Yeah.
Even though women aren't a minority, but they tend to have sort of this.
They still get the victimhood.
Yeah.
They still get the victimhood. And if you ever notice, I remember there was this one article that I read up. It's by some Democratic senator or a congressman or whatever. In order to virtue signal so they could win the midterms, really. Now, I'm obviously not trying to be partisan or anything, as I don't like either parties, but I'm just saying, like, in order to try to win the midterms, like, or whatever, he was trying to virtue signal and trying to scare women, like, or whatever, by saying women are dying because we're not winning elections. And I just thought, what the fuck? Like, because I guess they were closing down some of the public-funded women's health care facilities or whatever, and I don't know. I mean, and it just shows you that like politicians, they rely on the female vote.
Yeah.
Every time, like they rely on the female vote, and if you notice, a lot of the non-partisan bills, like you can look up VAWA. It was both sides that voted on it. Yeah. Both freaking sides. So anybody that thinks Republicans are pro-male better fucking check.
No, they're not.
Yeah. Like I said, anybody who thinks Republicans are pro-male or men need to rely on conservatism and all this shit.
The Christian right hijacked that movement. Like Ayam was saying that it was Catholicism before. I would say it's more the evangelical groups.
Right.
Where, Jesus is coming back and stuff. I mean, Catholics don't make up that much of a majority, and I think it's only like 20% or something. But that came about in the early '90s, where it came with Bush Senior with the whole Christian right, and women can do no wrong, and she's a saint. That's where that a lot of those
it got hijacked by gynocentrism, but if you think about it, it got hijacked by gynocentrism earlier than that. Because did you know that Elizabeth Cady Stanton, she was a first wave feminist, and she was the wife of the co-founder of one of the co-founders of the Republican Party.
Yeah, no doubt. And you know what's interesting is when I first wanted to talk about this, have this discussion on this topic last week with Nick, and then we got sidetracked with our guest. I wanted to actually sort of round off this part of the discussion, which is this very blatant disparity, gender disparity in sentencing in the criminal justice system. I wanted to round it off by saying, because this ties into what you just said, Lone Wolf. I wanted to round it off by saying, for this fact alone, women should not get the vote.
No, they shouldn't. For this
gender disparity privilege, I think that's
there's no other way.
Privilege.
There's literally no other way that we're going to, restore slice civilization without taking away women's right to vote. Now, that's obviously not going to fix everything, but I'm just saying that needs to be the major step if society is ever going to get back on track.
Okay,
is the 19th Amendment being repealed? Oh, did you want to go? I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So, but what you're saying. No, I wanted to say that it's never going to happen. It'll never happen.
Know.
But the point,
it's not going to happen.
The point I was making by saying that was that this gender disparity in the criminal justice system, there's enough evidence. It's an elephant in the room, man. Everybody knows it happens.
Even manginas know. Even they know.
If you go down, if you stood on a street corner with a pamphlet and started telling this stuff to people, it wouldn't surprise them. They would know. They
would know, but they wouldn't care.
They wouldn't care.
Absolutely, they wouldn't care. They wouldn't care. They'd just be like, okay, and shit. They'll probably say, well, it's men who run the system. Do you know what I'm saying? That's probably what they'll say.
You got a point. Got a point there.
Point. Yeah, he's absolutely got a point.
Yeah, that's a good point. But see, when they say that, they'll say, okay, so it's men who run the system, but then they'll say men and women are completely equal biologically in every way. So if men run this system to help women, how in any way are they fucking equal?
They're not.
They're not equal. Not whatsoever. No.
Okay, but here's the other point. Gynocentrism is not. There is no disparity in gynocentrism. Both men and women are gynocentric.
Yes.
There's no disparity there. It's 100%.
Yes.
Men and women broken evenly down the line are gynocentric.
That is absolutely true. And to an extent, gynocentrism is probably natural to an extent, but I mean,
it is. I believe.
Still, it is. Yeah, it is natural to an extent, I believe. But even then, a lot of people you see will, they'll point that out, especially what's her name? I forgot her name. She's an older anti-feminist, the honey badger chick. I think
Karen Strawn.
Yeah, I think she pointed that out before, that gynocentrism is natural and we need gynocentrism. Okay.
I don't.
That's surprising coming from a woman.
But look.
And I was just, I don't have a problem with Karen Strawn, and I'm not trying to start beef with her, but I'm just kind of critiquing something. That's just what a lot of, people in the MRA anti-feminist community may say is, oh, well, gynocentrism is natural and everything, but it's okay, so it's natural. Well, that's no excuse for systemic gynocentrism for welfare states and family courts. No.
Well,
what I'm saying?
See, at that point, you got to start defining natural. What do you mean by natural? I mean, if you really wanted to strip it down, you could say rape is natural, for Christ's sake.
Exactly.
So
exactly. Shit, you could say rape is natural, murder is natural, theft is natural,
exactly.
But what are these things? These things are illegal.
Yeah.
These things are demonized.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, so basically, I understand, and I can understand on what level that gynocentrism may appear kind of naturally to us as a species. If it's some kind of biological survival mechanism, I can understand that. All right, but the point is, is because the point I wanted to make in the beginning when I first wanted to do this topic, because I wanted to address the concept that because this disparity exists, because it can be proven to a very large degree, I would say almost to beyond a reasonable doubt, I would say that this we can even call it a privilege now for women, should make their voting privileges defunct. I believe. I say
it really should. Yeah, it really should.
This is
one
that
argument.
Makes sense. This is one argument towards that. That's all. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. Here's one argument you can use.
Now, some people will say. Even other MGTOWs. Now, some will say, and I just hear them sometimes say it. Like they'll say, "Oh, well, if we take away women's rights, we'll have to pick up the slack and do everything," which, that may be true, but is that necessarily like a bad thing? I mean, because we're going to have to do everything no matter what. I mean, even still to this day, men are held to higher standards.
Absolutely. Well, and,
you know what I'm saying? So it's not going to make a difference.
And I think the sentencing disparity reflects that. Men are considered and are held to a higher standard, and so they're expected to behave better. Women are treated like children. Gynocentrism is in a sense a way of infantilizing women to the point where, they can't be held responsible for their actions. And I'll tell you something. Women love that fucking role. They love it. And you know how
they love it. They love
their advantage,
being treated like retarded children. They love that role, really. Rather they admit it or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you think
the greatest accomplishment a woman can do in her life is to be a complete fucking useless person? The more useless she is, the more of a victory it is for her. Napping, doggies, trips to Santorini, and wine. That's it. If she can achieve that, she's queen of the whole gynocentric community.
Absolutely.
Oh God.
Man, I'm telling you, if you and it's funny because if the next time you see a woman muscle in a group that's kind of more dominated by men, like say it's a men's group or an MRA group, or a woman trying to be one of the guys, next time you see one of them do it, just remember, all it takes for her is one flick of that of her, infantile mind, and she can turn on the tears faucet.
Rip the mask off.
Exactly. She can turn on the tears faucet and everything. And I remember when I was in some of these MRA groups, when I would ghost in some of them or whatever, like I would just see like the females there, especially like the admin females, like they would be trying to tone police what the men could and couldn't say, and I was like, what the hell? And I used to actually check them too, and I would say, look, this is a fucking male space, so do not tell me what I can and can't say. And I got kicked out of a few of them for that.
Yeah. It's so. All right. So anyway, I wanted to add. I just kind of wanted to throw that in there. I wanted to do that 2 weeks ago and just say, hey, look, I have a case for cutting the right for women to vote. Here it is. It's a sentencing disparity. It exists. It's real. Do the research. These fuckers are getting off for murder and rape. I think for that alone, they should. A lot
and
of these.
Cosby's got to go to jail for touching a 7'8" mongoloid.
Yeah, for touching a fucking Howard Stern looking.
Allegedly, we're not even.
Howard Stern, fucking what's that character? She kind of looks like
a horse, a dead horse.
Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, it's fucking horrible. I'm gonna put that up. Let's go into that now. For all the listeners there, in case you didn't know, just when did it happen?
Just yesterday.
Yesterday,
today.
Right? Yesterday they declared Cosby was apparently guilty, and this was in Philadelphia, and the judge who was ruling the case was completely biased. Completely, he was a male feminist.
The CNN tried saying that Cosby tried using the race card. The fucking nerve of CNN.
What the fuck? They use the race card like a motherfucker on CNN.
Cosby tried using the race card. What an asshole.
Oh, now they hate someone using the race card. because Bill Cosby said that it was basically racism, which it kind of was. I mean, but it was by feminists, and that's because feminism. I mean, feminists, they're very, very racist. Like,
well,
there's a lot of racism.
Democrats are really racist.
Right?
Yeah, Democrats are racist, but they're more condescending with it. Like, they'll try to hide it.
Yeah.
I mean, at least people who are kind of on the alt-right, per se, who may be bigots or whatever, they don't hide it. They're right up front with it. They'll tell you, hey, I don't fucking like you, you fucking nigger, you fucking spick, or what. I mean, and honestly, it doesn't really trigger me, really. I mean, I just say, well, okay, well, I don't fucking like you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, the Democrats are insanely racist, and they like to, like, they get a kick out of being racist, but pretending to be an ally. It's fucking insane, man.
I know. That's why I just like. That's why I strongly despise them. It's like they It's like with liberals though. Like a lot of liberals and SJWs, like they're so condescending, and they feel as though minorities or blacks or whatever, that they can't think for themselves. I mean, you saw what happened with Kanye West or whatever. I mean, he just got attacked for just saying, he leans to the right, he supports Donald Trump or whatever, and whether or not you agree or disagree, that's his opinion. You know what I mean? I mean, he can think for himself.
And there was a rapper recently on Twitter that said, because it was Sean
Chance the Rapper.
Chance the Rapper, because Talcum X, who was
Talcum X,
Sean King, right? The white guy that pretends he's black.
Sean King, yeah, the white guy who pretends to be black.
he tweeted out, what did he say?
Black people don't have to be black.
Yeah.
He said that so seriously. Idiot. I even shared it, and I was like, dude, I just want to, man, like there's just times where I just want to kick that motherfucker square in the fucking teeth the times for saying that, because that is incredibly racist, basically saying that black people have to live up to this standard. They can't think for themselves. They can't do this. They can't do that. I mean, that shit, like people will say white supremacy and all that shit. That's what that is. That's literally promoting the idea of white supremacy, basically, is that white people always have to help black people.
Well,
which I think is very...
Now that we're just, now we're talking about Sean King, the guy's a white guy pretending to be black. He's a poster boy for the Democrats. He tweets out, black people don't have to be black. And then Chance the Rapper responds by saying, blacks don't have to be Democrats. And that fucker had to apologize publicly for that.
He apologized for it?
Yeah, he got bullied into apologizing.
Wait, Chance did? Holy crap, I didn't even see that.
This just happened today.
He apologized? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just happened today.
Oh my God.
He got bullied, because this is what happens. There's what they'll do is they'll thought police you. If you don't agree with them, they'll bully you into submission, and then you have to apologize.
Exactly. That's what they do. They'll bully you into submission, basically. Like, they will bully you into you thinking like them. And what they do is they use this method of, I'll argue your opinion with my opinion. I won't present any fact, but I'm just going to argue with your opinion, though, basically. That's what, and that's a typical tactic of SJWs and leftists, though. Like that's what they do. All they have is opinions. Like, they don't have any facts on their side, unless they're half truths.
Yeah, they don't have any facts, for sure. 99% of the time they don't have facts. But I mean, okay, I want to get into the Cosby thing here.
Yeah.
Okay, so this happened yesterday. I kind of forgot that this was going on, because it was in the news and then it wasn't, then it was in the news and it wasn't.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it dropped yesterday. Let me just kind of go over some of the points here. It says the jury in Bill Cosby's sexual assault retrial. This is a retrial.
Yeah. This was a retrial after the other one. I don't know. After it got dismissed, I don't know what they did, but they were just gonna retry it again, basically.
So something went wrong that they had to do a retrial, because I wasn't following it either.
And they also, what they did is they let women testify who were not allowed to testify in the last trial because they were caught lying. They were caught fabricating stories, and they were allowed to testify again, though. I'm like, and they had nothing to even do with the case going on, with the current case. So it was very biased, and it's like they kind of just slammed it down pretty quickly, just saying guilty. You know what I'm saying? Like, it felt very, very quick. He was just like declared guilty.
Not sacrificed, but he was attacked. I really do think there was a deliberate attack on.
This was a setup.
Character.
Like, this was a setup, really. And
yeah, I think it was a setup.
Okay, so Nick, I want you to explain what you were saying about how it was a setup earlier. I think you sent something to me.
I think he was an attack because he was a black conservative. Because of he had money. He had a lot of money for a black man, right? And he wanted to own something.
Yes, what did he want to buy?
Yeah. Is he had a lot of money for a black man, a black masculine man
who did the right thing, who was a father figure.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly, and who didn't bow down to fucking white liberals, to white feminists, basically.
That's right.
Who didn't bow down to white liberals or white feminists, and they went after, and they went after him. And it was especially since he had tried to buy NBC, and he was doing some things with Netflix, though. And so they figured, and I guess the elite, you could say, like, they just figured, no, can't have that shit. Nope. So take his ass down.
I got the archive here. It was back in 1992, right?
He first tried to buy it in 1992.
He wanted to buy the NBC, the television network, from its current owner, General Electric, GE. Who owns GE?
GE. I'm not really sure who owns GE, but I know NBC is owned by a parent company called NCB or something like that. I'm not really too sure about that, but I know that he did try to buy NBC. I think he even said while the rape case was going on or so that this ruined his chance to actually buy NBC. Like, he even had a whole campaign to buy NBC, I believe, and then he also, I think he was doing something with Netflix maybe, but I mean, it seemed like he was, and I also noticed he
was like what Oprah is for black men.
Well,
he was like what Oprah is for black men, except he was a masculine man. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't a fucking bend over the back type for the white like a fucking simp. Like, he wasn't like what you would see in like Steve Harvey or any of these others so-called black leaders or whatever. No, he was a
Democratic slave plantation.
Exactly. And he had held, during the thing that happened in Ferguson with the Mike Brown situation, he had held the black community responsible, for their actions. And then, it was right after this comedian named Hannibal Buress, he had made this joke saying, well, okay, how do you hold the black community responsible, but you have these allegations, and then bam, out comes the allegations of he sexually harassed me, he sexually assaulted me, he raped me, he drugged me, and just one by one, I mean, all these females coming out of fucking nowhere, testifying 40 to 50 years later, and now mind you, some of these females claim they were like raped around the time of the tail end of the Jim Crow era. Now, let me ask you something. Could a black man back then in America during this Jim Crow era, could he rape a white woman and get away with it?
No.
Hell no. A black man at that time period had to worry about getting fucking lynched if he even looked at a white female. Even back in the early 70s, it was kind of, a bit racy. So it wouldn't have been hard for them to get him convicted, especially since Bill Cosby got his start in the 80s. He wasn't this powerful man in the 60s and 70s. He really wasn't this powerful man.
No, he was a comedian. He was a stand-up comedian, and he did a voice for Fat Albert cartoon.
Yeah, that was it.
He
Really,
was making
like
money
that.
off the Jello commercials. He's loaded, bro.
Oh, he's bloated. Look,
He's
here. It
fucking
says
loaded.
here that he owns a big portion of the Cosby Show, and it said that it's approaching $1 billion in syndication, and that was in '92. All right, and also there's a little quote in this archived news article about him wanting to buy it. It says. Mr. Brokaw characterized Mr. Cosby's interest in buying the network in personal terms. Quoting, Bill has very warm feelings about NBC, he said. He got his break there almost 30 years ago in I Spy. Then he had the most financially successful show of all time there in the 80s. He said Mr. Cosby was interested in making quality television shows and that he would surround himself with, quote, good people to handle all the details of running a network.
Just imagine, man, if he would have bought NBC, imagine what it would be like now.
Yeah.
Just imagine. It wouldn't be all regressive-y, SJW, and like I said, they weren't gonna have that though. They were not gonna let this fucking, especially, this male who doesn't bend to the back of fucking feminists or liberals though. No. They weren't gonna have that shit, and that's why they said, shut that shit down. Bring in the white females who he fucked back in the day.
Well, I wonder if that was. I wonder if there was, because this was '92, right? When this was first.
Yeah, this was '92 when he first tried to buy it.
Now I wonder if has it changed? It must have changed hands in the meantime, or what? I don't really know.
I'm not really for sure, but I remember he apparently said that he was set to buy it before these allegations came out.
And you have to remember,
if I'm not mistaken,
a lot of these mainstream media news programs, they're losing ratings very quickly because of the internet.
I know they're losing ratings,
and the fake news thing is killing them too. So.
Yeah, exactly. Like they are losing ratings, especially like CNN, because even liberals they don't want to watch it because they'd rather go to the internet. I know a lot of people right now who they don't even have cable.
Mm.
So it's like, and like you said, the MSM is losing to the internet, and I believe the MSM will become what newspapers became when the MSM came around because of the internet, because people will just go to the internet to find their news though. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, with TV's never on.
Yeah. So a lot of people are really cutting off their cable, and especially since it's a lot cheaper because they have the internet. It's a lot cheaper just to cut off your cable.
All right.
Well, before we drift off the topic of Bill Cosby, I also think there's an attack on males' ability to use hypergamy on women,
yes.
right? So there's an attack on men making a lot of money now. You see, so guys that have the advantage to go out and bang, 5 or 6 chicks, there's an attack on those men right now.
Yeah,
it is. But you want to know something? This is going to backfire horribly on females, though. This is going to backfire very, very horribly because think about it. Are they going to be able to fucking suck their way in the corporations for their positions anymore?
Yeah,
hell
they can't do it no more, right?
Can't do it
so
no more.
True.
No, they don't bit the hand that fucking feeds them.
Yeah.
They done bit that hand, so no. So the corporations, I even think at NBC when the Matt Lauer thing, they instituted a stricter sexual harassment policy, basically. And if you look at it, it's a pretty good one though. And because I think it said if you see any of your coworkers in a relationship or whatever, you have to tell or blah blah blah.
What you do is replace the heterosexual males with homosexuals. There you go, problem solved.
Oh yeah, a lot of yeah. Either replace them with homosexuals or women.
Yep, that's exactly what takes place. So the corporations are now working against you.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna. But I also think, like I said, that this is going to harm women because, like think about it this way: can't their jobs just be taken by automation in the corporations? because I think that's what's going to happen. Is their jobs may be taken by automation,
No,
or the company.
we covered this already. They're being subsidized, the women. Though they're in HR departments, they're marketing strategists. They're nonsensical jobs, and that's why they keep them in the workforce. Keep them at work. Keep them busy instead of having sex and having children.
Right.
They're driving the economy right into the ground. Eventually, the guys that actually do production, the worker bees, once the worker bees die off and just sit around, watch porn, smoke weed, the whole country collapses.
Yeah, and I think that's what's going to happen. Is the whole country is just going to collapse because there's not going to be enough men to fill in these positions, and especially.
It's like a boutique economy is what I call it. Little boutique. There's no industry. There's no heavy manufacturing involved anymore. It's now like little cafe shops and worker spaces and a bunch of fucking bullshit.
Yeah, and I remember TFM covered an article of where there was a scarcity in construction jobs, and I remember he was talking about this, and he was pointing out that it's because they're not because they just want to keep on hiring women, basically. Like, they just want to keep on trying to make sure, it has to be gender neutral and blah blah blah. And that's actually now also socialized medicine, but that's actually what's happening with the doctors in the UK. That's one of the reasons why there's a doctor shortage, is because the females, when they're working there, they drop out the workforce to get pregnant, and they'll just have like one or two before menopause, and that's it.
Right.
Shit. Can I want to read some of these points from the Cosby case. It says here, because I to be honest with you guys, I don't know a lot about it at this point, so I'm trying to kind of wrap my head around it. And it says here, they found him guilty of sexual assault after 14 hours of deliberation. That was the jury. He was convicted of drugging and sexually assaulting Andrea Constand in 2004. They found him guilty on all 3 accounts of aggravated indecent. So this is one woman that he was found guilty of sexual assaulting.
Yeah, this was one woman in 2004.
Not even a woman, a horse. She looked like a dead horse.
2004. Oh my God! Like that was like over 10 years ago. Like, that was like 14 years ago.
Okay.
I think,
what evidence do they have?
Well, okay.
What evidence do they have? Now, a lot of people will say that Bill Cosby had. Oh, hold up! I don't want to cut you.
No, hold on a second. We're gonna get into that, and I want to share my screen, and I want to show the viewers the picture of this fucking woman, this beast. All right, so hold on a second here. I'm gonna share my screen. Okay. Now, just give that a few seconds to come up in there. And this is the face of Andrea Constand, and she's a lesbian, and apparently she used to play pro basketball in Italy or some shit. But she fucking looks horrible, man.
Who the fuck is raping that? Who's raping that?
Yeah.
Who? Like, no.
Not only.
No way in hell.
And she's a lesbian.
I don't even think he knows that bitch. Like, there's no way.
So I know. I don't believe it either. It's so true.
No,
like, dude, like, I don't even think he knows that bitch. There's no way.
Yeah.
I mean, what? Was he in the fucking transsexuals or something?
Well, not only that, but
no.
She's a lesbian, man. So does that mean that she was not a lesbian back then?
Yeah, I mean, was she just not like a? I mean, I don't know. Did she just decide to just switch up and just say, I don't like dick anymore? So hey,
right? No, it's so true.
Fucking so insane, true. Man. Anyway, I just wanted to quickly show that to the viewers. That's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And here, like, I want to know more details about. It says here that he might face life in prison because each of those counts carries a sentence of up to 10 years, and he's already 80.
Life in prison?
Well, he's already 80 fucking years old.
He's 80 years old.
So
he's 80 years old. What the fuck do you want out of him? I mean, he's gonna serve life in prison.
No.
I mean, shit.
30 years. He can get a maximum of 30 years, but that's life for him, basically, right?
Dude, he'll probably be dead. I mean, within like a few years. So what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? I mean, and it's like this. Even if he did do it, why didn't they say anything 40 to 50 years ago, though? And if they let it go on, then they're just guilty for letting other women be
Women didn't have
sexually
enough rights
assaulted,
back
though.
then, asshole.
So okay, they did. It was 14-hour deliberation. The, the, the fight is not over. Here's the court to hear the verdict, read and smiled the supporters. So there's a lot of people cheering about this, right?
And dude, there's a lot of people cheering like about this. Even the even the people on the right are cheering like about this. Like especially the alt-righters. You know what I'm saying? They're cheering like about this fucking case, but they don't understand that this is gonna fuck you over, man. Like, this is gonna fuck you over. I mean, look, just because you don't, just because you think, oh, he must be guilty because, hey, he's a black man, so hey, he's guilty.
Okay,
but I mean, this is gonna fuck you over, but you don't even care.
Let's go back to what Nick said before. What evidence exists? Because if I'm not mistaken, shouldn't there be a statute of limitations on this kind of charge?
Yeah, like, shouldn't there be a statute of limitations? I mean, I remember Terry Crews. Now, fuck him. He's a male feminist and he's a bitch. But I mean, I'm just bringing him up for this point. But I remember Terry Crews had a claim that another man, I don't know who, like it was, had groped him or whatever, and he tried to file a case in California, and they said it was past the statute of limitations. Now, mind you, I think, yeah, like, it's fucking ridiculous though. Now there should be a statute of limitations. Obviously, I honestly think it should be about 3 to 6 months. If you don't come out within then oh well.
Well, I'm just looking it up.
And you have
here.
to have evidence too.
Statute of limitations for sexual assault. I'm just going for sexual assault because
it kind of varies state by state.
It does.
Though.
It does vary state by state.
I know that they're trying to extend it here because if you guys know what happened with the Larry Nassar case, basically, so they're gonna use that to basically like they're gonna like if you guys know what happened with the Michigan State case with Larry Nassar, what they're gonna do is they're gonna use that to extend the statute of limitations, and I think they may have passed it by now, but it's going to be extended to like 30 years. I'm like, really?
What state was the case in? The Cosby case?
Michigan. Cosby case or Larry Nassar?
No, the Cosby case.
Well, the case.
Does anybody know?
the court case recently was in Philadelphia.
Okay, Philadelphia. Let me just look that up then. Yeah, because it differs from state to state is what I'm looking right now.
It really does. Like, it differs from state to state.
Pennsylvania. Okay, here it is. Pennsylvania, sex offense against a minor victim is until the victim turns 50. That's the statute of limitations. Rape, sexual assault, sexual abuse.
Oh my God.
Until the victim turns
50.
50?
That's sex offense.
50? What the fuck?
Insane.
That's a sex offenses against a minor. A minor. That's against a minor. Okay?
I know, but even with like a minor though, there still has to, there's still got to be evidence though, and by 50, how much evidence really is there?
There's none. And then here's the other one.
You know what I'm saying?
The other one's rape, sexual assault, sexual abuse, deviant sexual intercourse is 12 years. That's in Pennsylvania, 12 years.
12 years. And so this allegedly happened in 2014.
No, 2004.
So then that would actually be 2004. Sorry. So
it's over. It's over. 12 years.
That would actually be past the statute. It's over the statute of fucking limitations. But you see how they don't care. They completely just went against the law there.
But maybe okay. But it's okay if it was in 2004. So that was 2016 would have been the last year. It's 2018 now. Maybe the charges were first filed 2 years ago, which would have made it within the 12-year period.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
possible.
I think that I heard of that case. I think she was the only one to have maybe filed a civil, and she was like the only one. Like now she was still fucking lying, I think, but she filed a civil suit or something against Bill Cosby back in 2004, if I'm not mistaken. But she was like the only one really. Other than that, all them other bitches, they waited like 40, 50 years. But she was like the only one who actually filed it, I think, earlier though. Now, I thought that case had been ended, but apparently not.
Well, I don't know. Like, okay, so what we know is that I don't know about the evidence. Like, I don't know what evidence was presented. I don't think it's going to say that in this article.
There was no evidence presented.
They won't tell
like
us.
There
They're
was
not
no
saying
solid.
Not gonna tell us.
Like there was no solid evidence presented, though. I mean, the only thing he said that people want to say he's guilty for is he admitted that he gave him drugs, which was Quaaludes.
No.
Quaaludes.
Okay,
and
wait.
Quaaludes.
Hold on, one second. Okay. The lady that won the conviction here, Andrea Constant. This is the one that you're saying he gave Quaaludes to.
Well, he gave drugs to most of them though. But I remember like a few years ago, he admitted he was giving them Quaaludes though.
Yeah. Now listen to this. This other article I have by the Advocate. Listen. The title is Andrea Constant, the lesbian accuser who took down Bill Cosby. Just listen to how they word the article.
Wow.
Cosby's conviction turned on Andrea Constant's case, and the out, meaning she's come out as a lesbian. Could this get more fucking liberal? Could this headline be more fucking modern day liberal?
Did this get more SJW, like regressive? Like,
it's
what the fuck?
It's like, listen to the wording. It's like an idiot to read it.
It's entertainment.
Lesbian takes down Bill Cosby. Like, what? I feel like that title is just.
It's not.
I don't know.
It's not finished yet. Listen to this. The out former pro basketball player told her story with inspiring bravery. Okay. Okay. Is that straight out?
This is from what website? What website is this?
This is from the Advocate. It's called. I sent it to you in the. I think I sent it to you in the.
Are you
chat?
I'm gonna put it back into
Can people
the.
see this?
No, but I'll share the screen again. I shared it before, but I'll share it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. This bitch looks disgusting.
So I'm gonna share the screen again. But yeah, this is the article. Again, her story. Listen to this. Before the national reckoning, and here listen to the key words. Before the national reckoning around sexual harassment and abuse that prompted the hashtag #MeToo and Time's Up movement, Andrea Constant, whose case led to a jury finding Bill Cosby guilty of sexual assault on Thursday, came out publicly in 2015 as a lesbian to challenge her attacker's assertion. Jesus Christ, she came out fucking a year before the statute of limitations ended. Holy Christ, man! This is like a bad.
She came out
Sunday
a year
movie.
Before it expired, so she came out at the last fucking minute.
This is
just the last minute.
This is the plot of a really bad made-for-TV movie. Is what it is.
Yep.
This really is like.
It's a
If
comedy.
you listen to the testimonies, I believe one of them, the testimonies. Now it might have been her who fucking gave it, but it was one of them. She said, I mean, they said that she had went to Bill Cosby's house by herself for a business deal. Now, by herself, mind you, and she's supposed to be some model or whatever. She went to Bill Cosby's house by herself. I mean, now normally when women do business or whatever, they normally will come with somebody else, maybe like another male. But no, she went by herself while his wife was not home, and she took drugs from this man who she did not know. She accepted pills from this man she did not know. She openly admitted to accepting pills from this man she didn't know. Now, does that sound like a rape victim to you?
Exactly. And you know, she says.
Does that sound like?
Well, and she says, check this out.
She took a chance. She took the chance.
Mm-hmm. She wanted a leg up in the industry. Listen to this. She had at the time of filing the rape, she indicated that although Cosby had made overtures to her, she had no interest in, quote, a romantic relationship. So in other words, she didn't want to date him. She just wanted to suck his dick to get the position. All right?
And he's going to jail. She should be in jail.
I highly doubt Cosby wanted a romantic relationship with. I highly doubt it.
With that
I
woman.
just highly fucking doubt it. Why would he need to have?
What's that, Nick?
What? I mean, Bill Cosby could literally go to the bar right now and pick up any female he wanted to. I mean, he's Bill Cosby. He's a millionaire. He could go to the bar right now and pick up any female he wanted to.
She's the immoral one. You're missing the point of the story. Mm-hmm. That when she's in the world of justice, she's the immoral one.
Yeah, of course.
You see, it's been completely reversed. It's completely.
Of course, yeah, I know. Yeah, she's the moral one. She's supposed to be the quote-unquote moral one. I get that. Fuck,
like,
man.
Listen to this shit, man. Listen to this shit. It says a former employee of the basketball program at Cosby's alma mater, Temple University, where she met Cosby, Constant 45, told her story for the first time in a courtroom last summer in a trial that left the jury dead.
Who kind of seems to go against like the way they do. I didn't mean to.
No, that's not what it is, man. That's not what it is. I've had trouble before. Like, be right back. Okay, reconnection successful. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. What the fuck? So in and out. Just bear with me, guys, while I see what's happening here. It keeps saying that the software, the OBS software I'm using, is dropping out, but and then okay, we're live. Stream is continuing. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna play some commercials for a second, guys.
How do you like to enjoy a Rusty Brown's ring donut?
I like to lick lovingly around the outside and then thrust my tongue in the middle.
I like to munch it vigorously.
I just love the batter all over my face.
On Friday nights, I just can't stop eating Rusty Brown's ring donuts.
Oh my
He pissed them off though because he was trying to buy. I mean, NBC is like one of the biggest corporations. Am I not right? Like NBC is owned by one of
okay, we're good.
One of the biggest corporation. Yeah, we're good.
Back on, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on. Stop for 1 second. Okay, guys, I just want to address the guys in the chat. Guys, we're back. We had some technical issues. Please don't run away just because we mentioned the Jews.
Yeah, don't run away. Look, I'm not.
What do
one
you
of
mean,
those,
Ayam? We're just having a connect.
I'm not one of those neo-Nazi type. I don't hate Jewish people as a on an individual level. I don't even really hate them as a collective. I'm just bringing up the fact that there's certain ones and power that are very collectivist like that, and anything that goes against their own interest, anybody who steps up and tries to challenge the whatever narrative they put out normally gets shut down. I mean, that's all I'm really saying. I'm not trying to say, oh, let's get rid of other Jews or whatever. Look, I've spoken to these people. I've worked with a lot of them, and so I just know, and admitted that that kind of stuff to me basically. So I know what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah, no, I understand. Um, okay, we're back. It looks like we're listening. Like, going back to what we were saying before we were cut off, is that I was going to say who owns NBC. Nick, do you know who owns NBC?
I think is it GE?
It's a parent company called like NBC. Let me see. Like, let me look it up. But I know it's a parent company.
Definitely not
But I
GE.
know like the biggest
General
the,
Electric
the
was. Are they still?
No, I don't think so. They're broke right now.
Oh,
NBC.
I used to know. I'm gonna look it up now.
okay.
I know that I know that they're owned by like, okay, so basically their parent organizations are Comcast and
There
NBC
you go.
Universal. So it's
So
Comcast that owns them.
Comcast. And
Comcast and NBC Universal, basically.
yeah, and I think it's pretty safe. It's a pretty safe bet to say that the people, the major shareholders and CEOs of these companies are probably Jewish. I mean, that's not
they
a far
gotta be
stretch.
like, I'm looking at the guy who owned it apparently named Ralph Roberts. He looks pretty, Jewish, I guess you could say.
that's David Cohen.
Cohen? Is it a Cohen?
Yep, got a
Is
Cohen.
it a
Julian A. Brodsky. Let me see
Bergs?
this person.
Brodskis? Yeah, Bergs.
That sounds like a Jew. I mean, that sounds like one.
Nah.
I could sure look. Yep. He's Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Like I
Right,
said,
there you go.
there we go. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, this is no fucking conspiracy. I mean, they've openly said it before that they do control like a whole. Like I said, I'm not mad at them for it, as this is just human nature, really. So
Yeah.
it don't really matter who's in power. You know what I mean? Like, self-interest will always get in the way, really.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. And,
Okay, the stream keeps going off and on again. So
The guy who found it, the guy who found that it was Jewish also.
really? Okay. Not surprising. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to continue the stream, but we're going to take about a 3-4 minute break. We're going to listen to some ads. Guys, stick with us. We will be back. We got a lot more to cover. So we'll see you back in a few minutes.
How do you like to enjoy a Rusty Brown's Ring Donut?
I like to lick lovingly around the outside and then thrust my tongue in the middle.
I like to munch it vigorously.
I just love the batter all over my fave.
On Friday nights, I just can't stop eating Rusty Brown's Ring Donuts.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Sometimes I like to wear women's panties and walk around 5th Street.
When you go downtown, make sure you enjoy Rusty Brown's Ring Donuts.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Robar, entrepreneur, VIP, and founder of the revolutionary program, Think Your Way to Success. It's a 3-step program that's been changing lives and my income for the last 2 years. 5 years ago, I was a nobody, just like you. After my Think Your Way to Success program, I spend the entire weekend in my jacuzzi or engaging in the exciting sport of domino toppling. Hey, if you can think it, you can do it. One of my award-winning courses is sure to be perfect for you. The first course I call Think, Hold That Thought, Complete, because that's what you do. Step 2 is known as Learn, Start, Doing, where I explain the mysteries of starting. Or take the new accelerated course that will have you laughing and hugging strangers. Motivate, demonstrate, then motivate again. Just listen to these endorsements, and remember, these people volunteered. They aren't being paid much.
I've been on the Think, Hold That Thought Complete program, and I have to say, I'm finally going to start my career in being a well-paid rich person.
Yeah, I've been thinking my way to success for a while now. It's some good stuff.
Call now and sign up for my Think Your Way to Success program. And if you want to think really fast, try my Crank It Out program. Call 1-866-434-SELF. Hey, don't just do it. Think about it.
Sweaty leather tracksuit? Absurdly fat Dayglow laces? Something missing? Complete the look with a replica car sign insignia on a chunky gold plate chain at Vice City's one-stop shop for people who know how to put the hip into hip-hop.
Wow, you look fresh.
Complete the look. At the law firm of DeLeo and Furex, we understand that sometimes life throws you a curveball. We help our blue chip clients get their lives back after circumstances have conspired against them. Just listen.
It was an unfortunate accident what happened to my wife on that precarious cliff. DeLeo and Furex can't bring my wife back, but they made sure I didn't end up in the slammer.
I was unfortunate enough to be found with 15 kilos in my spare tire. I was so mad at the auto repair shop that sold me that tire. Thanks to DeLeo and Furex, the district attorney saw it that way too.
I accidentally torched a Quickie Mart when my medication ran out. DeLeo and Furex helped me and the community by ensuring a healthy settlement from the pharmaceutical companies.
At DeLeo and Furex, we understand the judicial system and will ensure the truth is heard, no matter how improbable. We're not cheap, but what price can you put on truth? Call DeLeo and Furex today at 866-974-2333. That's 866-9-SHADY. DeLeo and Furex. Accidents happen, and we'll prove it.
The store leading the fight against communism is having a blowout sale. Ammunition has a wide array of peacemakers. Come by Ammunition on Militia Mondays, exercise your Second Amendment rights, and get 10% off all armor-piercing bullets. We're the only gun store that lets you try it before you buy it. Need anti-tank missiles? We've got them. Flamethrowers? Oh, yeah. No credit? No problem. No money down. 90 days, same as cash. Shoot now, pay later. During the 10-minute waiting period, fire off a few rounds of the Ammunition gun range, featuring faces of famous commie pinkos. Come by Ammunition and register to win an anti-aircraft gun actually used when we whooped Australia's ass. This weekend is the Ammunition Film Festival with free screenings of the documentary Red Dawn. Ammunition, protecting your rights. Are you tired of Dad?
Dad, no one wants to hear your stupid Vietnam stories.
Are you tired of Mom?
Hi, Angel. Do you want to read a book or go outside?
No!
The arcade comes to your living room, only without the creepy guys offering to show you puppies.
Awesome!
The Degenitron. You can play video games just like you were in the arcade.
Excellent!
The Degenitron gaming system plays 3 exciting games, including Defender of the Faith, where you save the green dots with your fantastic flying red square.
Cool!
Monkey's Paradise, where you swing from green dot to green dot with your red square monkey.
That's red!
And Penetrator, where you smash the green dots deep inside the mysterious red square.
Wow!
The Degenitron brings arcade realism to your living room. It can even take quarters, and a strange, sweaty man comes by to empty the machine on Fridays. Degenitron, fighting the evil of boredom.
I'll never go to school again! Degenitron!
Do you have dry mouth?
I sure do.
It protects your teeth, fights infection, and lubricates your food. But what happens when you run out of saliva?
Help me, I can't talk.
For personal dryness upstairs, it's Salivex.
Wow, I can spit again.
Salivex is more than saliva in a can. Salivex improves consumption efficiency by 50%. No more halfway cures like coating your throat with cooking oil to have that extra piece of cake or bowl of kitty litter.
After a night out, my tongue tasted like carpet. It was embarrassing. Now with Salivex, I can eat a whole box of crackers or lick my life partner's
Stamp collection.
all night.
It's like having a salivation army in my mouth. Now I can suck a
Lollipop.
for as long as I want.
Salivex tastes like your own saliva. That's because at Salivex's state-of-the-art production facilities, we use salivation philanthropists who make Salivex all day. Salivex. When it comes to personal dryness upstairs, we're deadly serious.
Hi, I'm B.J. Smith. In my long and illustrious 3-year career at the top of pro football, I whooped some serious ass and got paid for it. They didn't call me Death in Tight Pants for nothing. When you have such a rewarding career maiming others as I have, you know how to stay fit. Through running, wrestling, stuffing 20s down panties of foxy strippers, firearm training, nasal pursuit, and beating the hell out of your fellow man. That's what keeps me healthy. And now, using training methods I perfected, it's going to work for you with BJ's Fit for Football. Watch those pounds fall off. I'm down to 300 pounds using exactly the method I demonstrated on tape. I mean, Who are you going to trust to get you fit? A man who can rip your arm off and beat you with the wet end? Or some aerobics instructor who wouldn't get drafted by the local hopscotch team? Hell no. BJ's Fit for Football. Out now on Beta and VHS. Remember, to win a game of football or life, you have to annihilate everything in your path in a blind rage.
Ever since Linda started working, our kids are home alone.
We tried hiring a nanny, but she wanted health insurance.
Yeah, right. That's when we got Domestabot. He's great with the kids.
Mrs. Lawrence, Tommy has some skin magazines under the bed.
And he helps us, too.
Would you like your drink freshened?
He's a great conversation piece at our special parties.
Please put your car keys in the hat and the fun will begin.
It's like having a personalized alarm clock.
I brought you a drink.
It's 8 in the morning.
I made it a double.
Oh, Domestabot.
Domestabot. He's 3 foot high. He only says 10 phrases. He's the friend you've always dreamed of. Order Domestabot today.
We're live. All right, we're back, guys. Thanks for being patient. We had some very strange technical difficulties. Hopefully you guys can hear us now. It says there's 4 watching now. If you guys can hear us, please send a message. Put a message in the chat so we know we're being heard. Anyway, you guys, we were talking about Cosby. Is there anything else you guys want to continue on that, or should we head into?
No, I think we beat that topic dead.
Okay.
Okay.
That topic might have got us. Is what caused us to lose. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, let's try to not bring it up no more then.
Okay, so I'm going to introduce the second topic for today, which in the title I used Cockpits. And again, I'll explain to you, Lone Wolf. Maybe our listeners are already familiar with the language Nick and I use, but you say chicks in cockpits when we talk about, women kind of taking over traditionally masculine jobs, which really aren't suited for them. So you could, chicks, pilots, firefighters, police officers.
Just all kinds of, normally male-oriented jobs. I noticed that a lot of females are really just being pushed into. And if you notice, in those corporate jobs, they get promoted a lot faster than men do. If you notice, the only ones who they promote very fast are normally gay dudes or women.
Yeah. Now,
there will be men who'll be working there for I don't know, say 5 to 10 years, but they'll just promote women. And what they're doing basically is companies are starting to just pay women more because they want to, fight this quote unquote wage gap. And what happens with that is men's hours start to get cut. If I'm not mistaken, that's how it happens. Men's hours normally start to get cut basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, okay, Nick, when we want to discuss, when you brought this up last week, this had to do with an incident that occurred. If I look at the articles I've got up here, it occurred about a week ago. If you heard, Lone Wolf, there was a Southwest flight that landed. It had the engine broke apart, and it landed with 1 casualty. Okay, and the pilot was a woman.
Of course.
Her name. Well, let me find one of the articles. Tammy Jo Schultz. She safely landed a Southeast Airlines flight after an engine exploded on Tuesday. 1 person did die. Schultz was on the Navy. She was in the Navy, and again, this goes into a lot about women in the military as well, and the problems that come from that. But the reason this came up between
there are.
Sorry.
I was gonna say yes. Women in the military. I actually have a few buddies that are in the military, and they would tell me that, in the military, it's very gynocentric. Women would just get, like I was saying, they'll get promoted to these positions faster than men that they're not really.
Hello.
Qualified.
Guys.
Yeah. Are you there?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm there.
We're here.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah, I am.
Sorry, I don't know, man. Getting freaked out. Everything's going wrong today. Okay, well, let me kind of. Oh shit. You guys still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What's up?
No, now I'm having problems with my browser.
You're cutting in and out a little bit.
Okay, hold on. Anyway, let me just kind of continue. Hopefully, am I sounding okay? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah. Yo, hello?
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah,
okay.
what's up?
Good.
Okay, so
We're good.
Okay, basically, this woman lands a plane after an engine exploded. And let me just read some of the stuff they say. Okay, she was one of Navy's first female fighter pilots, received a number of awards during her 7 years of service. Schultz, and then it goes in, she also taught Sunday school at her church, performed volunteer work for at-risk children, opened a cottage on her family's property to victims of Hurricane Rita. All this shit this woman has done, and then plus landed this plane, and nobody's trying to say she shouldn't be...
Is she a mom?
Yeah, of course, she has to be a mom. Now,
Yep, she has to be a mother. Yep.
But here the point is that there are every single day there are men landing planes that are in conditions just bad as this or worse. Nobody's writing articles about them. Okay, this is one point.
Exactly. Nobody's writing articles. Nobody's praising them. I mean, almost every day there are men successfully able to land planes without one single casualty.
Yeah.
And will be in conditions just as bad or worse.
Yes.
And they were able to land the plane. Right. And especially if you've ever flown during per se I remember there was this one flight I took to back from New York, basically, because I was visiting New York, basically, and the plane was like shaking or whatnot, and it was freaking scary, but it landed successfully though. So with that being said, like men every day are in these jobs landing those kind of planes with zero casualties. So yes. I don't get how the hell this female gets praised for doing something, that men have done almost throughout time. And I remember recently there was some female recently who won the Boston Marathon, and I don't hear them talking about winners of the Boston Marathon much, but they were talking about it being the first female and all this crap. And I was just thinking, wait, is the only credentials she has as being female, is that it? She's the first female? It's so what? Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're so focused on this, this identity politic kind of, the first female did this, or even with Star Wars, they're celebrating the fact it's the first black female director. It's wait, is that her only credential? Is she a good director? How many movies has she made? You know what I'm saying? That was the only thing they were highlighting, was that it was a black female. I mean, is that it's a black female, and I think that's very detrimental to society when companies or corporations basically just want to hire people for these positions based on identity politics. Just female, female, minority. I really think that's very, very dangerous.
Well, it is, and I think it was Nick bringing this up to me, saying check this out, they're making her out to be a hero, but the truth of the matter is much different. Okay, and there was this the one article that you sent me, Nick, the one about the Father Manifesto. You remember that one?
Oh, it's one of the most fantastic reads any MGTOW man should read. The Father's Manifesto. It's fantastic that women have killed more or downed more American planes than the enemy has. It's so sad but true.
Okay, wait.
Wow.
Repeat that again, Nick.
Women pilots down more American aircraft than the enemy. For example, the first woman pilot, Harriet Quimby, killed herself when she crashed at an aviation meet on July 1st, 1912. There you go, right off the bat.
Damn.
The first female pilot already crashed and died.
Look at the freaking the first female a Navy SEAL, if I'm not mistaken. She dropped out after a week or so.
Hey, we can't leave you out. First black woman pilot, Bessie Coleman, killed herself when she crashed in Florida in 1926.
Now, mind you, they want to do articles saying females are better fighter pilots than men, and I remember I was listening to TFM. Shout out to him, by the way. You know, especially if he's watching. But you know, I remember watching TFM basically, and he was covering that how they were talking about, you know, how females make better fighter pilots than men, and he was pointing out that, you know, is that basically a female fighter pilot can be on the same level as like an average sized man, but a man her same size is better than she is. And so it was a half truth of that article, and it's just
you mentioned that the first female Navy pilot flying an F-14 Tomcat, she crashed the plane also. I mean, the list here, it's 52. There's 52 major incidents. First female pilot from Turkey crashed dead. First helicopter female pilot crashed. The list goes on and on and on. There's 52 here. Amelia Earhart, who can forget that one, you know?
The most famous woman pilot.
Yeah.
They never found her either.
Disappeared.
They never found her whatsoever. Like, she just disappeared.
Well, that's the same as the Argentinian sub. First woman commander on an Argentinian sub. The sub fucking disappeared. It's gone.
Yeah, the sub disappeared, and this just shows women are a liability.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you look up in the Israeli army, even in Israel, you know, that's one of the most Israel and Canada have the most gender integrated militaries, but only a minority of females fight on the front lines. Why is that?
Yeah.
Wait, ready for this? Women pilots are 120 times more dangerous to the flying public than terrorists.
Oh my god! So much for fucking woman power there. Girls run the world. Yeah, my ass.
So
I mean, look at the fucking of the bridge in Florida that collapsed and it killed like 6 people.
Yeah, we covered that with. I think we covered that.
Yeah,
with,
it was a female company.
Yeah.
It was a female leg company. I mean, it's just really getting like dangerous though, because you know, like it could be one of us, you know, driving on one of these female built-up bridges, you know, like, you know, or whatever, and it just all of a sudden collapses. Like that could have been any one of us though. So that's just very it's just very scary, man. It's very scary that we're trying to push this idea that women are just as good as men, should be given the same opportunities as men, should be given the same everything as a man, and blah blah blah, and just giving them all this corporate. Well, like, this is very dangerous when the only thing you're basing someone's credentials on is their, what gender they are, what race they are. But that's like the kind of culture we're living in. Everything is all about identity politics. Basically, it's not about the individual, you know, who this individual is, like what skills does he have. I mean, does he or she
it's
have
affirmative action gone crazy. Here's some other stats for you, right? Female pilots are 4.1 times more likely to have an accident than male pilot.
Wow.
Yeah.
The best was my favorite statistic on there.
Totally.
You get my favorite statistic on there. It says what McFadden's own data proved once and for all, but what she failed to articulate is the one with the DWIs, the DUI convictions. Talk about pilots flying under the influence. So it doubled the odds of a pilot for a major airline of having an accident, but being a woman pilot quadrupled those odds. So in other words, a drinking man pilot was half as likely as a sober woman pilot to have an accident.
Wow.
A drinking man pilot was half as likely as a sober woman pilot to have an accident.
I think I even read some article or something where these female pilots, they were taking selfies as they were piloting the fucking plane. And they didn't go to jail. I don't even think they got fired. They got fired for it. I'm like, are you serious? You're in charge of people's lives, and you're taking selfies and shit. I'm just like, dude, this is scary. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is.
If I, reading through this page that Nick, and by the way, guys, for the viewers, I stuck it into the chats. You can find the link below in the chats if you want to look at this page. It's pretty mind blowing. And the thing about after I read through this, it even says that here that a man driver, this is for driving cars, has to drink 7 drinks to drive as dangerously as a sober woman driver. So
it says women. I'm reading right now. It says women drive only 30% of miles driven, but are in 37% of the fatal accidents. God damn.
Yeah. No, this is real consistent with. I did a video a long time ago on how women pay less insurance for automobile insurance, and it's still true today. Like if you're a male, you pay a lot more insurance, and the factors that went into it was that.
Wow. Oh, see, I didn't even know that. So,
yeah.
So women get in more accidents, but yet men still pay more in auto insurance?
Yes.
Wow. That's really just completely like discriminatory. So you're telling me that a man and a woman can like technically buy the same vehicle and everything, but a man will still get charged more for his auto insurance?
Yes, because he's male. But this is the thing. This is how the insurance companies justify it. Is they justify it by saying that men, although women get in more accidents, men get in more expensive accidents. That's how they
men get in more expensive. That is the that is the dumbest
biased because of the insurance.
Yes.
So they're basically just being they're being biased because of the insurance though, and they say, oh well, men get in more expensive accidents. Yeah. I guess you could say so. Are they trying to say that it's more severe when men get in accidents? Is that what they're trying to say?
Yeah, more severe. So it costs more money. Like so the coverage is more expensive because a man will get in.
But this stat just said 37%. 37% of fatal accidents are fucking women. So that's a large portion of women that get in fatal accidents. So that's a pretty dumb excuse.
But that's their excuse. That's the auto insurance excuse. And you'll see it. Go to any insurance website that actually describes the discrepancy, and that's how they explain it. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. If that's not evidence, to certain people, because you even have a lot of these egalitarian, without going off topic or anything. If that's not evidence that gynocentrism exists and is systemic, I don't know what is. I mean, men get charged more for auto insurance just because they're male, because men get in more accidents. Now, imagine if they were doing that to women.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Oh, it wouldn't happen.
Because I remember this one article in New York. It was some article talking about like a pink thing because women got taxed a little more because they had more consumer spending, and they were freaking out. Oh my God, this is misogyny. This is gender. But look at how many taxes federally.
They should go to the environment, man. They should go to if they want to go green and believe in climate change, plus they tax their consumer spending.
Exactly. and look at it this way. Did you know that men pay like 150% in federal taxes? Like they pay 150% of in federal taxes, if I'm not mistaken, because basically because men, they have a lot more money to spend, and when you get on welfare or like government assistance or whatever,
you're not paying taxes in that sense.
You're basically taking more out of the system than what you're putting in. And a lot of women, even if they're not on welfare, they're normally on Medicaid or one of these other programs, and so they'll have they'll be taking money out of the system more than what they're putting in. So that's why they don't pay as many taxes though.
Yeah.
I mean, and then also look at have you guys, I think you guys may be aware of this, but look at the I know something else, child tax credit. They even now they have that for families, but it's for low income families. Mm-hmm. And who's mostly a lower income families?
Well,
what kind of household
single mothers
is
take
normally
the lion's
lower
share.
Income?
Yeah, single mothers households, they're the lion's share, obviously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's literally a freaking dude. That's literally a freaking hustle for single mothers. So not only are they getting on welfare and Medicaid and WIC and food
Yeah.
stamps, they're also getting money out of the system. Like they're also getting a tax credit just for being a fucking bastard breeder. And now, mind you, I've actually spoken to one single father. You know, they told him he couldn't claim that because he made too much.
Yeah, you know, there's it's in Canada. It's the same. I mean, I know a bunch of single mothers in the complex that I'm living right now, and none of them work. Like they don't fucking work, and I don't know how they do that. Like how do they fucking?
Yeah, Canada. Yeah, you guys. I don't know what's going on with y'all, but y'all got some kind of I don't know what it is, man. It's just very just I don't know. Like
Well,
Canada.
It's very
like,
social. It's
like
very
I heard
liberal.
in Toronto that. Yeah, it's just very socialist. It's very liberal. It's just very like feminist. Like you'll just get called a misogynist just for saying anything remotely, even like remotely critical of a woman. I even heard that you can also get locked up too for disagreeing with feminists. Is that true? Because I read one article that this dude got locked up in Canada for disagreeing with feminists.
Well, we're the home of Jordan Peterson, so if you've been following that, that kind of gives you an idea of what's
Yeah,
kind of
this
going
is
on
the
here.
home of Jordan Peterson, as well as who else is from Canada? But I know that Canada is basically like the birthplace of MGTOW and the men's rights movement and all that. You know, like Canada is like the birthplace of the manosphere, basically, because it's just how just because of how gynocentric it is, and especially since in Canada, I believe it was back in the 80s or 90s or something, there was some guy who went around and he shot a few feminists or whatever, and they
Oh,
made
in Montreal,
a
yeah.
big deal.
Some
Yeah,
guy,
Montreal. Yeah,
some guy
yes,
went and
yeah.
shot
Some
up a
guy he shot
woman's
a few
school.
feminists or whatever.
Yeah, it's like a classroom of
Yeah,
women.
he shot up a. Yeah. It was like a classroom of women, but they were like women's rights activists or something, and he basically just shot it up, basically. And ever since then, they've just been kind of, they've just been really trying to push this women's rights agenda like bullshit though. And this was back in the 80s too. Like this was during like second wave feminism.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I don't remember the date.
Yeah.
And again, that was back in a time when this whole concept wasn't
I don't
on my
either.
mind.
I just brought it up. I just brought it up because I'm just talking about Canada, baby, and how it's like Canada and how it's kind of the birthplace of the manosphere, like and whatnot. And I remember the first MGTOW YouTuber I ever watched was Sandman, and Sandman, he's from Canada, so yeah.
That's right, Sandman is Canadian. He's Ontario. Okay, man, this stream keeps dropping in and out. I have no idea what it's gonna sound like.
It keeps dropping in and out.
Yeah, I have no idea what it's gonna sound like in the end. when it's finally...
Hopefully they can hear it though. I mean, I really hope that they can hear it because
It's
I'm
working
really
on my. I can see it. It seems to be working okay.
Oh, is it okay?
Okay. Yeah,
Well,
yeah. Nick says he can see it, so it seems to be working okay because we're having a really good conversation right now. Like I feel like our chemistry is just right, kind of.
Yeah,
you
it's
know what I'm
going
saying?
good, man.
Like I don't know.
Good. It's going good. And okay, so I want to go back a bit to the chicks and cockpits for a minute here, just to kind of round it off. Basically, the article that you sent me, Nick. What is Father's Manifesto anyway?
It just gives a list of of who it just actually I don't know, to be honest with you. I just was looking up female pilots and stuff, and that's what came up, and it gave a really good detailed report on the whole thing.
Fuck. Do you guys hear that static?
Right.
You guys hear that
Yeah,
static?
I mean, but that's just kind of. I kind of hear it on kind of. It's more so on your end, Ayam. To be fair, it's more so on your end. I mean, I wonder if it's on my end. Like, do I sound kind of staticky or no?
No, I hear it just come up every once in a while, and
I hear a little bit of static too. Anyway,
Yeah.
I want to stick on the topic of these female pilots and shit. So the Father's Manifesto gives a really good, accurate, detailed report on how damaging and how dangerous it is to have women doing these type of jobs. I mean, we're talking military. We're talking defending the nation, and they're more dangerous.
Military, defending the nation, basically. Fighting people who basically want to kill us in a sense.
Right.
Though. Like they're supposed to be defending the nation. I mean, and in the military, they're like I have a lot of friends and even family that were in the military, and they've actually told me that in the military it's very, very gynocentric. Like it's just very gynocentric. They give women a promotion faster than men do for positions they're not really qualified for. And then also they like what they'll do to avoid being undeployed is they'll get pregnant.
Well, yes. Yeah, and they get pregnant, and they use the health insurance. We know.
Yeah, they get pregnant. They use the health insurance. Now, mind you, in the military, you can be court-martialed if you catch an STD. If you catch an STD or like I think trench foot or whatever, I call it, like you can be court-martialed, but they're not getting
court-martialed.
Like,
you'd have to an honorable discharge.
Oh well, I thought. Wait, can't you get a court-martialed for catching an
Court-martial means
STD?
you get thrown out of the military for not for you wouldn't get court-martialed for an STD.
Oh, okay, yeah, but basically you would get discharged for a lot of those things though. But yet with females,
but especially a female, if she can get pregnant, have a baby, and she can still be on the payroll, on the pension.
yeah, she won't lose her benefits or anything. She'll still, she just, and she'll get to miss a deployment though because she gets pregnant. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and the military right now, what I know like about it currently is that only like 10% I believe at the moment are actually in combat because we're not really doing much. I mean, the people who were fighting ISIS or whatever, they're not really a big challenge, so we're not really doing much. So the only reason why women even get to have certain combat roles is because we're not fighting people who are very
real enemy. Ayam, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
so
he's just sitting back
listening. Into what I was, this ties into what I was talking about, how if there was a war, and me and Ayam both agree there'll never be another war as we know it. I mean, we're pretty much engaging in proxy wars.
Yeah.
But as far as a U.S. military going to war, it can never happen.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
Not a world war.
Absolutely.
Not a world war under the pretext of what we understand a world war to be based on the past two world wars. Just that will never happen again. As there's a lot of reasons. One of the reasons is because you're not going to convince a population of men to go and die the way they did before. All they have now is this kind of for-hire military.
Yeah.
Privatized.
Yeah, basically, yeah, and then like you said, and then I think a lot of men would be trying to skip out though. Like a lot of them would be trying to get injured and all that crap.
Well, not only that, if they were to be drafted, they would start killing each other.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, true. They would start doing. Yeah, they would probably start doing that. Like they probably try to go to prison.
Roman Empire, where it'll be one army versus another army. There'll be huge factions battling each other. That's exactly what would happen.
Yeah.
It would be like the left versus right in the military, or something similar to that regards.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably so. Probably so. I hope we don't have like another world war. I really hope we don't. But if you're saying that, okay then.
It's impossible.
Okay.
I bet I put my car up on that. It's not going to happen. That's how confident I am.
Yeah, it's all proxy wars. A lot of the stuff is it's private military now. Technology itself. I mean, you don't even have to fucking.
It's private military now. Like I even read up that the current president, he's kind of just letting the military kind of do what they want to do. Really, he's not really. You know what I'm saying? He's not really accomplished.
No one's died, and we pulled the guns away from ISIS.
No one's died. I mean, no one's died. Basically, no one even died in the Sirias strike. Like, I don't think there was any.
There's no need for a standing army.
There's really no need for us standing army. I mean, all we were doing we were arming terrorists for a lot of years. Like we were arming ISIS and training them for a while. But I read up that recently. I mean, not really recently, but it was like last year. So one of the programs that was arming the rebels got disabled though. So
they stopped it. Yep.
Yeah, so that's what and by the way, so yeah, it's not too bad right now.
Well, wait. Let's go back, Nick. What were you saying about making that the comparison about women flying? You're saying the dangers of it.
Oh yeah, just the dangers of putting women in the military. I mean, again, how many children can one woman bear?
A lot, actually.
What, 10, 15 max?
10,
like
15 max.
All at once,
okay.
or
no,
like
in their life, in their lifetime.
Sure.
In their lifetime.
In their lifetime. I'm not sure. I know probably back in like the colonial days and the Victorian. I mean, they were having like a lot of children, like 13, 14. I mean, like families were big back then. So I'm not
my
really.
grandparents had 9.
Yeah, same.
Just one generation before me. Like my mother had 5 siblings. My father had 5 siblings. I mean, that's 6 kids. 6 kids ahead. So that doesn't happen anymore.
Right. I remember my great grandfather. He had about eight brothers and like 2 or 3 sisters though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had about 8 brothers and like 2 or 3 sisters though.
Wait, this is getting off the topic. So again, a woman could have 10, 15 children max.
Right.
Let's say, okay. How many women can you impregnate in a lifetime?
More than that.
More than that,
probably like 1,000 if you
1,000
really
want.
Like 1,000 in like
a
week. Like a man can impregnate 1,000 in a week if they're ovulating. Now they have to be ovulating, obviously. So they have to be on a certain, because not every time when you go raw is there an automatic pregnancy. So like a man can can impregnate like 1,000 women in a week if they all happen to be ovulating basically.
Yeah. And then Nick, what?
All right. Okay, so theoretically, let's say you can have 1,000, right?
Okay.
Theoretically, and a woman has 15. That's the reason why you don't let women fly in airplanes. Their reproduction, that you have to protect the women because that's the fertile one of your society. Why would you?
That's why they shouldn't be in the military, because them having babies, that's what makes them more vulnerable though, is because they produce babies, and basically because they pop out babies, and while they're like pregnant, they will be more like vulnerable too, like in the military. They even say a lot of females, like most of the females, like they can't pass other tests to get in though, so they've had to actually lower the standards.
Yeah.
Yep, they've done it in everything.
Well,
they're
they're sort of like they're the beginning and end of reproduction for any civilization, any society. It's always been that way, and that's really one of the biological functions of what explains a lot of our experiences of gynocentrism. I think it explains a lot of the disparity in let's say the justice system. But this identity politics of forcing women into these positions goes completely against that. It goes completely backwards against that.
It really does. It goes completely against the idea that women are supposed to bear the babies and everything, and it just says, and this is why I really have a problem with these egalitarians or whatever, because they'll openly, because they're like communists to me, really, like egalitarians and like in feminists, like they're like communists to me, because they keep denying human nature. They keep denying what's there biologically. Biologically, women are in no way equal to a man, whether it be physically, mentally, biologically, whatever. They are in no way equal whatsoever. I mean, if there was like a fighting game of men and women based on real stats, men would be overpowered, dude. Like men would be fucking like overpowered. Like you know what I'm saying?
There wouldn't be a very fun Street Fighter game.
No,
If
it
it was
wouldn't.
based on real
It wouldn't
biology.
be a fun. It wouldn't be a fun game
Nobody
unless
would
it
choose
was.
Chun-Li, man. Nobody'd choose Chun-Li.
Well,
No,
in that documentary,
no,
I
nobody
sent
would
you,
choose Chun-Li. Chun-Li would just get murdered with like one hit.
What's that, Nick?
I sent you a 60 Minutes, the news show, 60 Minutes. They did a thing where the first Navy female pilot that crashed, the first one, they pushed her through. The military said no, and Congress shoved it through on them. And the military said no, you can't have women flying. And the congressman said it was from higher above. What does that mean? Yeah. What does that mean? That means obviously it was pushed upon us by outside forces.
It's institutionalized.
Dude, like Congress.
It's institutionalized.
Yeah, dude.
That's what it means.
Dude. I remember with Congress when women got the right to vote. Like now, mind you, when women got the right to, like, when they were passing like the bill for women to get the right to vote, and they gave them, the option to, I guess, vote, like they were actually gonna be like they were actually against it, and they took it back when they found out that they may have to actually register for the draft because they made it because before then only rich men could really vote. Like only men who own land or who own businesses, those were the only men that could vote before 1919 or 1920 when they were trying to pass the 19th amendment. Though those were the only men who could vote. But they've sold, and they were going to make it so everybody can vote basically. But what they did was for men to vote, they had to register to register for selective service, and to this day, if you are 18 and up, if you do not register for selective service, you'll go to jail in the U.S. You will go to jail, and you will not be able to vote basically. And I remember well, I mean, obviously I don't remember because I was not around back then, but when they were passing it, like I said, like the feminists who were trying to say, yeah, we deserve the right to vote and everything, they went against that bill because they thought they may have to register for the draft. So what Congress did, they took that part out and basically said, nope, you don't have to register for the draft, and that's how they got the right to vote.
Well,
there you go.
That's why I think that the 19th Amendment should be changed to be if you can get away with rape and murder, you don't get the fucking vote. No vote for you if you can get away with rape.
But honestly, I would set it up like this though. I think there's a lot of men though who don't need to be voting. I think men on government assistance should not be fucking voting. No, I mean they're gonna vote for the same policies that women are gonna vote for. The only ones, here's how I would set it up truthfully, and this would actually be more of a republic type of idea. Basically, how I would set it up is the only ones who I think should vote for the presidency are business owners, property owners, and then and also veterans too, and also veterans, like veterans or soldiers or whatever. And then
you can't vote?
Basically, like I would set it to just business owners and property owners who are male, male business owners, male property owners, and male veterans.
Why don't we just
who can vote for the presidency, and then for the for the Senate. And obviously, I don't really think this is going to happen anytime soon. But obviously, for the Senate or the Congress or whatever, I think just men who are net taxpayers, and all the other ones who I mentioned, property owners, business owners, and veterans, I think they can just vote locally. But for the presidential, I think it's only male business owners and male landowners.
They'll wind up enslaving the other half. You understand that, right?
Well,
what do you mean by enslaving them though? Like
they'll just bleed the lower class dry of everything.
Well, the problem with that too is that we even talked about this before. Is that for such a small percentage of the population of the United States, and they are a very small percentage of the population of the United States, the Jews tend to be a large population of the major business owners and landowners.
So you're just asking for getting screwed even further when, you know.
I mean, yeah, that is actually true. But here's the thing, though. I mean, if we, you know, I mean, but it'll just be somebody else, though, if it's not the Jews that fucks us over, though. I mean, think about
it. It's picking your poison, pretty much.
Yeah, pick your poison.
It's picking your poison, pretty much, though. But that would be much better than just having universal suffrage, though. Because I don't know, I just don't think.
Well, now you got gynocentrism is now you're enslaved to.
Yeah.
Jews and gynocentrism.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like pick your poison. Do
you want to be? Do you want to be?
Hey, at least you get a nice Wi-Fi connection.
Do you want to be a toxic masculine, or do you want to be a goyim? Your choice. Which side do you want to fall? Which side of the spectrum you want to fall on? Toxic male.
We're all Israelis in this world.
Yeah.
I mean, well, we're technically all goyim anyway, so whatever.
Well, okay, and there's a third option that that nobody wants to talk about. We could go Sharia.
Sharia? Oh, holy shit! I mean, Sharia law in certain ways is actually kind of gynocentric, though, because believe it or not, in Sharia law they have a form of no-fault divorce.
Actually, in Islamic law, when it comes to divorce, there's no such thing as no-fault divorce. Not in Islamic law.
Well, I heard that they had their own version of it, but it's just titled differently, though.
No, there isn't. I got divorced through the religious courts, which was Muslim religious courts in Indonesia. I became a Muslim in Indonesia.
Well, different Muslim countries do things differently, though. That's the thing. Like different Muslim
that's
countries.
Depending on their government. Gaddafi did something similar to that. Yes.
Right. Like in Saudi, like they gave women the right to drive. Now, in most Muslim countries that we know of, they don't even step foot in a fucking car unless there's a goddamn kitchen in it.
most Muslim countries allow women to drive. It's only Saudi that doesn't. But because like Indonesia is the most populous Muslim country, and every woman drives there. They're still shitty drivers even over there. But the point is that if you're talking about Islamic law from a Quranic jurisdiction, that's a jurisdiction of the Quran.
Right.
In the book, it states that there is no such thing as no divorce, no fault divorce. It's alien, completely alien in the pure Islamic form.
Right.
There may be certain countries that apply different laws according to their governments. I don't know, but
probably so. And then a lot of other things they claim are Islam are actually really like Arab customs, basically. Like even in Sharia law, like really Islam doesn't even say like you can just beat your wife, though. That's what that is. That's actually whatchamacall. That's Arab customs, though. I think that's what they would call Wahhabism.
Yeah, it's closer to Wahhabism.
But you can correct me though if I'm wrong.
No, it's closer to Wahhabism, and Wahhabism is sort of the Arabic form of Islam. But
yeah, that came out before Islam.
Yeah,
they came out before Islam. Like that's with genital mutilation, and when they would have the slaves, they would castrate them.
Slavery,
like that's what that shit is.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty.
Yeah,
shit. But that's sort of what the Arabic culture steeped in, because it was the Wahhabis that allowed the Sauds to take over the country. But anyway, that's besides the point. When I mentioned just the third option of Sharia, I was kind of doing it in jest, but you have to admit that within certain Islamic states, it's much more patriarchal to a certain degree, where you don't have a lot of this gynocentrism. And when you were just mentioning about no-fault divorce, again, in a raw Islamic law, there is no such thing as no-fault divorce. I mean, when I got divorced in the religious courts, you have to understand, my divorce in Indonesia was not done under state law. Okay, it was
That's
not done.
That's because you're a white man being in Indonesia. You're not going to get the same nice yalla treatment.
No, but no, I had to go to the religious courts. This is completely separate from the state courts. Okay, they follow religious law when it comes to divorce, and there's no such thing as no fault because my wife left me for no reason, just left me and asked for a divorce. She completely forfeited any privilege through a divorce. She wasn't entitled to anything. She was entitled to nothing. In fact, what screwed me was state law. And state law said that I couldn't legally own land if I was not a citizen of the country. And therefore, the land of the house that I bought and the land that it was on was automatically within her jurisdiction to take. And that wasn't religious, that was state law.
Yeah, that was state law, and that was because also.
But religious law,
that you weren't like a citizen there. Now, if
the
you
religious law said the religious law says she gets nothing. She gets nothing. And when I went to get the divorce, it was a piece of cake because everything she did up to that point basically gave her no benefits. It gave her zero benefits, and that was Islamic law through the religious courts. It was the state law that screwed me. It was the secular state laws that screwed me, not the religious laws. If the religious laws were involved in the property of my house, I would have kept that house, I would have kept the land, and she would have got zero.
Wow.
Nothing.
Wow. So you would have stayed there.
No, I don't think I would have stayed there. I mean, I would have still ended up coming back. But anyway, the point is yeah, there's a third option.
All right.
Nobody talks about the third option, though.
I mean, like how do you think like Sharia law? I mean, because Sharia law, I mean, it's very totalitarian. There's not a whole lot of free speech, though. Like that's the thing under like Sharia law. I do believe in the Constitution, though. So how do you think what under your idea? Like, do you would we still have a Constitution?
No,
would you still have.
No, it wouldn't, man.
Really? Dude.
It's totally it's totally different. I mean, like me and Nick kind of jest about Sharia because there's the aspects about the concept of Sharia that really when you look at it from as a Westerner kind of drowned in gynocentrism, they look appealing. It looks appealing, kind of. There are certain aspects that look appealing. I mean,
yeah, there's just certain aspects, and that's what I was thinking, because I still want to have the Constitution. I still think we should have rights to freedom of speech, just own a gun, own property, but we can but we can take some parts of Sharia law, like that male authority part, and assimilate it into our culture. I mean, and that would just be my ideal society, kind of.
Yeah, well, we don't talk in ideals on this show because we got to fix with the reality, and the reality is what's in front of us, right?
Right.
So we could speak about dreams and fantasies of, women baking pies and, getting blowjobs. That's not going to happen, and it's not going to happen, I don't think, in our lifetime.
It is not going to happen as long as there's a family court and a welfare state and women fill up the corporate coffers. It's not going to happen,
That's all going to fall apart. That's all going to fall apart. In your lifetime, you'll see it. I think in your lifetime. I don't know about mine and Ayam's out.
Yeah, I think in my kid's lifetime, he's going to see it, and I feel really bad. Yeah. And I feel bad about that a lot of the time.
Yeah, I really, and there's no telling if we'll survive it either.
No, I don't know. I mean, I don't think the United States as a country, I don't think North America as a culture is going to survive it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of scary. Like it could be like Venezuela though, like where, they're literally like eating out of fucking garbage cans, and I don't man, it's just gonna be nuts, man. I mean, it almost feels like it's gonna collapse like the same way the USSR did.
Well, it's hard to say.
People didn't die when the USSR collapsed, so you wouldn't have to really worry. There'll still be food. I mean, it's not going to be like zombie apocalypse like a lot of people say.
Well, it's not. I don't think we're going to get to
the fluoride water.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to get to extreme socialism. But what I do think is that the structure that exists now can't sustain itself.
Right.
And it will eventually collapse. And how that collapse is going to play itself out, it's you can forecast a little bit, but it's hard to predict because I don't think it's the same. You know, when the United States collapses, it's not going to be the same as the Soviet Union collapsing. It's a totally different monster there.
Right. Yeah. I mean, right, because I mean, think about it. Like the United States is really, we've been built to such a superpower that when we collapse, you know what I'm saying, it's not gonna be the same.
The world
Like,
would feel it.
What's that?
The entire world.
And then think about it. If we collapse in the United States, I think the whole world would, because think about how many countries that just rely on us, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, like I said, and then I think the three of us agree that I think North American culture, Western culture, is on a fast track to collapse.
It's on a fast track to extinction.
Yeah, a lot of things are gonna change. I mean, maybe I don't. I think the three of us are in agreement that it's really difficult to foresee anything stopping this collapse.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
I can only hope for the best, really, but that's all that I can do. I mean, but at the same time, like, we can't stress over it, like, because we can't, like, we shouldn't stress over the things that we can't control. Like, we have to just, take our lives into our own hands.
No, we're
MGTOW.
MGTOW.
Try to, we're MGTOW. Just try to be prepared for when it happens.
There's no point in stressing about things, that you can't control, and there's no point in stressing the things you can control.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So
right, man.
Yeah. So kind of like we're hitting on 2.5. So we're gonna kind of just wrap this show up. But to sum it up, guys, that are still in and that sat through a lot of the technical difficulties, and sorry about that. I think it was the Jews. Now
the Jews. The
juice. It was the juice we've been drinking. Now we've got kind of to recap. Bill Cosby might spend the last of his golden years in a cell.
He has a shot at an appeal, though. He has a shot at an appeal, possibly. But think about all that money he's gonna have to fucking pay in civil suits, and then plus, if his wife leaves him finally, man, that now, to be fair, and I'm gonna be fair and fucking balanced. To be fair, I couldn't blame his wife if she really did leave him if he was cheating. So that, to be fair, yes. Now, do I think he deserves to get taken to cleaners? No, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, to be fair, I mean, but I would think that was the last of his worries, if he doesn't get taken to the cleaners. But he just has to worry about all those civil suits that he's gonna have to pay off if he does get an appeal, though. And that'll, like, losing all that money, that'll probably like make him have a heart attack.
Yeah, he might not live. He might not see another couple years, So
and then what's next? Are they gonna go after his fucking estate next? Are these bitches gonna try to go after his estate when he dies? I mean, shit. What do they want? What do they want with this man?
Well,
you know what I'm saying? They just want to torture him.
Well, more importantly, I think for all of us as men, is that this is sort of a canary in the coal mine. You can see that if this shit's happening to Bill at the height of this Me Too shit, just it's just further enforces the idea that MGTOW is a very plausible and a very realistic choice and discipline to choose in your life, because you're gonna get fucked even if you're Bill Cosby, and even if a lesbian horsewoman says you fucked her 50 years ago.
Even if a woman, because like one of the cases was, he had allegedly tried to come on to this chick who says, "Oh, I was underage and I was at a Playboy Mansion party," and he tried to come on to me. Now, mind you, in that case, I actually heard, in that case, he wasn't even in the country when that happened. He was like all the way like overseas, like that day. So he wasn't even at no Playboy Mansion party. So even if you never met a female, she can still claim that you raped her or
Right.
sexually assaulted her.
Yeah.
Think about how fucking scary that is.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And then
That is fucking nuts.
Okay, and moving on, be warned if you have a female pilot, if you're traveling, if you're traveling anywhere in the country or abroad, make sure you know who your pilot is. If it's female, you might want to change your ticket.
Like now, like after those tests, if I ever travel, if I ever want to travel like overseas, or maybe if I travel somewhere, I'm gonna check the gender of the pilot, basically.
Yeah.
If I can,
Find out.
I'm gonna check the gender of the pilot. If it's a female, I'm saying hell the fuck no.
Well, remember, captain is a general neutral title, so make sure you get the first and last name of the captain.
Yeah, get the captain.
Is
That's
it Captain
a gender.
Mark or is it Captain Stephanie? And
Captain Mark, or is it Captain Tracy, who just came out of college, and and she's basically a new recruit, and this is her first flight. And this is her first
and she was pushed through training because they had to meet gender quotas because systemic sexism is institutionalized against men. Understand
systemic,
that.
yeah.
That's real.
But their narrative is that it's systemic patriarchy that are just keeping women out of these fields and keeping them from doing so much. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
it's freaking ridiculous.
That's how those people function. They basically project onto you their garbage. Whatever they say is real, flip it around, turn it around, and that's the reality. And the reality is there is institutionalized sexism against men within the court systems, as we've discussed, and as well when it comes to these identity politics and trying.
When it comes and when it comes economically, yes, there is because women between the ages of 18, like single women get paid more than single men between the ages of 18 through 30 because of because of feminism, basically. Now after 30, that's when a man reaches his peak, and he gets a higher position per se. So that's why older men, and if you notice, men who are in their who are over 30, younger women are attracted to those kind of men normally. Like I remember there was some stat in this dating site or whatever, it showed that younger women were far more attracted to older men because that's when they reach their peak in economic income, basically.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely true. So anyway, guys, I think we're gonna. Nick, are you still there? You still with us?
Yep, I'm here.
All right.
Yep, Nick.
I think we're gonna call that one a night, guys. We did 2.5 hours.
Yes.
I don't know how the middle of this video is gonna turn out once it's all uploaded because there were so many technical difficulties.
We had a good conversation.
Yeah,
it was fun.
I hope we can do this more often, maybe. More often. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't mind being on more often. Definitely, I really wouldn't mind it though because I really enjoy the show. I really enjoy talking to you guys, and yeah, man. I mean, I'm really glad that you hit me up to be on here to give my thoughts. But before I but before I say anything else, I'm gonna let Ayam just if you wanna end it off because this is your show. So
okay, yeah. So anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Again, this is weekly. We do it again. We'll definitely have Lone Wolf on again on a future date because I don't know. We like to try and get all sorts of different people on here when we can. So anyway, thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you in about 7 days' time.
Yep.
Be safe, be wise, brothers.
Yep.